You'll be able to tell your kids a story where you were when the United States went into utter collapse. It happened right before our eyes. The CBO. Now, the kids call it the Congressional Budget Office. Numbers that were frankly earth-shattering. They didn't want to release these numbers to the public because, it would be an admission that America was finished as the global leader. So they waited, and they released it on a Friday during July when no one's paying attention at all. But we were. And the numbers weren't even on page 1 of their report. No, it wasn't. The real story was buried on page 8. Here it is, highlighted in red. And what it showed made your jaw hit the floor. You did a double take when you saw that the United States has already accumulated a record $652 billion in gross debt interest in 2023. What does that mean? Meaning only the interest part of our U.S. debt payment is $652 billion. And then, because you're a smart person, and you looked at the projections and realized, holy shit, the report predicts the interest payments on our national debt will pass $1 trillion this year. What? Your kids are going to say, Daddy, what does that mean? And you'll explain how the U.S. is in such a catastrophic deep hole that we will have to pay $1 trillion in interest payments just to stay in that deep hole. We are $32 trillion in debt, mostly to China and major international banks like JP Morgan Chase, who keep, by the way, getting handouts from us, U.S. taxpayers. So in order for us to keep borrowing money from China and Chase Bank, we have to pay $1 trillion in interest payments. The numbers are stunning. Just look at this new chart. This is the interest payments on our national debt exploding. And that means that in the next few months, our costliest government program is no longer Social Security or national defense. No, the number one thing that our government pays for is interest payments on our debt. That's right. More than Social Security, more than anything else. That's right. $1 trillion a year just to pay the interest on our debt. Well, what does this mean for us exactly? Well, it means that our government is spending more money on interest payments than it is on education, infrastructure, Social Security, even our military. It means that we are literally mortgaging our future to pay for our past mistakes. If you're a parent, this has to be incredibly concerning for you. You're raising children in an environment where a country is collapsing around you. And it means that we're becoming increasingly vulnerable to foreign powers. Russia and China have been watching this with great interest. They see the U.S. as a declining world power, and they're taking advantage of it. Russian President Putin is the first world leader in history to successfully ditch the U.S. dollar without being killed yet. Other leaders have tried to do it, but the U.S. assassinated him. This guy sums it up perfectly. He's speaking Russian, but I've subtitled it for you.
Позволил себе то, что не мог сделать никто, кстати, в мире. Да, последние два, кто это пытались сделать на том свете, да, Муаммар Каддафи и Хусейн. Отвязать нефть от доллара. Путин первый президент, при котором это случилось. Мы начали продавать ресурсы не за доллары, за рубли, за юани, за индийские рупии, за что угодно. Теперь Саудовская Аравия заключила договор с Китаем и начала продавать нефть за китайские юани. Если брать оборот 100 миллионов баррелей в сутки, мы умножаем на 366 или на $80, получается около 3 триллионов долларов в год – это оборот нефти на рынке. То есть это 3 триллиона долларов в год только спрос на доллар со стороны нефти всего лишь. Половина отвязываем, вот 1,5 триллиона спроса на доллар в мире нету. Отвязываем газ, отвязываем металлы. Компании начнут занимать не в долларах, а в юанях, в рупиях, не знаю, каждая страна в своем. Наши же компании занимают сейчас в юанях. Начали занимать. В чем проблема? И проценты по ним все выше, 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 а спрос все меньше и меньше.
It's true. Russia has been demanding payments for its oil and gas in rubles, and China is moving away from the U.S. dollar in its trade with other countries. This is a major blow to the U.S. dollar, which has been the world's reserve currency for decades, but all of these countries are waking up. And by the way, this isn't just about economics, it's about power. By undermining the U.S. dollar's dominance, Russia and China are asserting their authority on the global stage. They are reducing America's influence, weakening our position, threatening our national security. And the Fed knows what's happening. The only way they'll be able to pay these $1 trillion interest payments is to totally devalue the U.S. currency. That's it. That's the only choice. Inflating the hell out of the U.S. dollar. The Fed backed itself into a corner that they created. I saw one economist say this week that this is the real beginning of the end. Yeah, he's much smarter than I am. Shit is about to get real, folks.